everyone, it's Ken with Ken's Creations. Well, today I wanted to show you how you can make a necklace that will feature a silhouette of someone that you love, and you can put it on a necklace so that way you're holding them close to your heart throughout the day. It's super easy, and how we're going to create it is using Shrinky Dinks that we can cut on our Cricut Explorer. That's right, you can cut this on your Cricut Explorer, which I'm really excited because in the past I've had Shrinky Dinks and I wasn't able to cut them on competitor machines, which is really disappointing because I love Shrinky Dinks, and I would try to cut them and it just wouldn't cut, and I would end up cutting them by scissors or I'd have to break them off, and it was a mess. So I'm going to show you how to cut them on the Cricut Explorer, shrink them down, and I love this project. It's a real cool, fun project. So let's dive right in. What you are going to need for this project is, of course, the Cricut Explorer. You're going to need Shrinky Dinks in both the black, and you're going to need the frosted rough and ready, or in Shrinky Dinks. So the other thing you're going to need is whoever you want to hold close to your heart, you're going to want them to take a picture, a side profile picture, because we're going to be making a silhouette of their head. So this is my partner Sean, and that's who I'm going to be featuring in this video. I don't know if he's going to be in this video, but I just told him to take a picture of his head, and he always says yes to me, so guess what? Now he's in my video. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up Cricut Design Space. Now, we are going to be doing two images. One is going to be a heart, which is what we're going to be using the frosted rough and ready, and one is going to be the silhouette of the person's head, which is what we're going to be using the black Shrinky Dinks. So let's go and start with the heart. We're going to go to Insert Images, and all I've done is I've typed in heart and enter, and it's going to bring up anything that is associated with heart in the Cricut database, and you can kind of go through and find the heart you like, which is, I like this one here. It's just kind of simple. It's on the When I Was a Kid cartridge, which I've already purchased, so I can go ahead and insert that one. I accidentally chose this one here too, which I don't want, so I'm going to unselect that. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that. Now, as you can see, it brought it up into my design space. Now, I don't want this shadow in the background, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off by clicking this little eyeball, and it goes away. Now, the thing to keep in mind about Shrinky Dinks is they shrink. I know, that's a shocker. But, so when you're sizing these, keep that in mind. I want this heart to end up right under an inch. So right now, if I was to hit this edit screen, it's going to tell me my height of my heart is 2 inches. So if I was to shrink that down, it's going to shrink to 1/3 of its size. So obviously, if I was to put the height at 3 inches, it's going to be 1 inch. So I want my height to be right around 2.66. Let's try that. And that is about where I want it to be, because that's going to shrink down to just under 1 inch. And I'm ready. This one here, I'm pretty much good to go. I'm going to be cutting this on the frosted rough and ready, and the reason why is I'm going to be taking some color and coloring it in red. On the frosted rough and ready, you can actually use some markers, and it will adhere to the frosted rough and ready and shrink down with that color. So that one we're good on. The next thing we need to do is get our silhouette ready. So we're going to go to Upload Image, and we're going to do a basic upload. And we're going to look for that picture. Now, a couple things to keep in mind for this picture is you want to try to take it on a white background or a nice clean background, because you want to minimize the cleaning you're going to have to do, because obviously we have to clean up all around this person's head. The first thing I want to do is I want to crop down this picture. The closer I can get, the better, because that is less I have to clean up. So let's crop down that picture. Alright, there we go. And then we can use this little magic wand up here to get rid of the majority of this white background. So we're going to keep going around. Now, you can come up here to this eyeball, and it's going to tell you where you need to clean up. So there's all these red dots. Now, keep in mind, you guys, when you're doing this, we're really looking at just getting the silhouette of the person's head. You don't have to be perfect here because it's going to shrink down to a relatively small size. So when you're cleaning this up, just keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep in mind, the cleaner the line, the less your Explorer is going to have to work. The first time I did this, my Explorer went crazy because my lines were all jagged. I had a whole bunch of little dots, so it was, and it worked. The Explorer is an amazing machine, and it did a fantastic job. It just took a while. So just keep in mind that when you're doing this, the better you can clean it up and get rid of all these little dots and make sure everything's clean, the better you're going to be. So let me go ahead and clean up this image. One last thing I'll tell you before I clean up the image, and you guys can see me clean up the image, is down here you can see, let me turn this off, that Sean here has a goatee. So if you have someone that has facial hair, you're going to want to give them a virtual trim. And the reason why is right now, you can see it's going to want to cut around that. There's no need for that. Once again, Shrinky Dink is going to shrink down, and you're not even going to see all those little hairs. So what I like to say is I'm actually going to give Sean a trim along all of this. So we're essentially, you're not even going to see this. We're just looking for the silhouette of this person. So go ahead and start cleaning up your image, and that's what I'm going to do, and then we will go ahead and save it. So I will show you that next step. Alright guys, now that we have the image cleaned up, there is one last thing. You want to look down at your silhouette and decide if you want your silhouette to come straight down here or if you want it to fan out. I've decided that I want mine to come straight down, so I'm going to take my image here and kind of just have it go straight down like that. So that is another feature you need to look at. I like it more straight down than having it fan out. Once you have it just where you like it, you're going to go ahead. I have all my lines cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue to step 3. And I'm going to hit save image. It's going to go ahead and save that here as a black image, obviously. And once we are ready, we're going to load that into Design Space. We're going to click that, hit Insert Image. You're going to see Sean's head pop in here. Now, as you can see, what I was saying is here's kind of those jagged lines. I could have probably done a better job making sure those are nice and even. And, you know, there might be programs out there that you can go in there and do tracing and go into different Adobe Illustrator or other programs, but I wanted to show you the capabilities in actual Design Space and how great of a program this is, that you don't actually have to leave this program to do anything fancy. That Design Space will let you do everything right here. So here is our silhouette here, and I want this to be 3 inches because I want it to shrink down to 1 inch in my Shrinky Dink world. So I'm going to go up to 3 inches. And that looks good. Now, I'm going to hit go because I have both my heart and my perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and load my mat and put my Shrinky Dink material on. And I'm going to hit go. Now, you do need to create a custom material. So you're going to change your dial to custom. And down here you're going to hit material settings. Now I've created it with Shrinky Dinks. And I've changed this all the way to 340 points, and I've changed this to a 3 times. I tried it on 2 times and it did work fine, but however I saw at times it didn't cut all the way through in just certain parts. So to me this has been the best. So I named it Shrinky Dinks. I turned it to 340 points at a 3 time, hit save, and then hit done, and then I'm ready to go, and now I can just hit go on my machine. So let's go ahead and see how the machine cuts this. So what we are using for this project is Shrinky Dinks. So I bought this assortment pack, and the reason why is it comes with both the frosted rough and ready and black. So it comes with, I believe, 10 sheets, 2 frosted rough and ready, 2 of bright white, 2 almond, 2 black, and brown. So it's a great pack. I love Shrinky Dinks. It's amazing. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the machine. I just wanted to show you exactly what we are cutting so you had a visual if you go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, and try to find it in the store. So we're going to go ahead and start on our cutting. The first thing we're cutting is that silhouette. We're going to go ahead and put our Shrinky Dink on our mat. I'm just using the regular mat. No need for the strong grip. And we are going to go ahead and put it into the machine. I already have that custom setting that I showed you in the video. I'm going to re-put that mat in here. Didn't like how it went in. And then we're just going to hit the Cricut head, and it's going to go ahead and start cutting here. Now this is a custom setting, so you are going to see it cut multiple times. So I might speed up the video here just for time purposes. Alright, so it is done. So we're going to go ahead and peel off our Shrinky Dink material. And look at that. Cut right through it, no problems. So obviously, Explorer, as people ask, can cut Shrinky Dink. No problem. So we're going to set that off to the side, and we are on to the next thing, which is the heart. You can either cut this in the white Shrinky Dink or the other one, Frosted Rough and Ready. I didn't know if I wanted to ink mine or not, so that's why I did the Frosted Rough and Ready. So this is just a basic heart. This one should take relatively short amount of time. Alright, and then there is the heart. Now on this heart I could either ink it or something else. I've decided that I'm actually going to just shrink it down as is, and then I'm going to use some of my red pearl pen afterwards and go ahead and use this and let it dry on it to give it a nice pearl pen on the necklace. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next step and get these ready to shrink down in the oven. So our Cricut Explorer did a great job. Here is the silhouette of the head. Here is our heart. So a couple things before we get this going. You're going to want to get your area prepared. So we have the toaster oven here. Now I did try my first time a while ago with Shrinky Dinks in the conventional oven, and it just didn't do well. So I do highly recommend, if you have a toaster oven, doing it in a toaster oven. I got this one at Walmart for $19, so highly suggest it. You are also going to, for this, we need a hole punch. The hole punch obviously is going to allow it to shrink down. We're going to be putting it on a chain for the necklace. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to punch a hole right here in our head. And we'll put that on our cookie sheet, and then also in the heart here. The other things you're going to want to have handy is your instructions, which come in the package, which are right here. You're going to want to have a pot holder just in case you need to get in there while they are cooking. And then I also have some sort of pick. This is just a corn on the cob pick. And the reason why is if when they're shrinking down, if they fold onto each other and they get stuck, you want to be able to go in there with your pot holder and unstick them. And this is a nice way to just kind of unstick them. So you want to have all that ready. Now I want to go ahead and color. One of the nice things about the Rough and Ready is you can either use ink or other medias to color this in before we bake it. So I'm going to be using the Viva Pearl pen, and I'm actually just going to use my finger and color it in because I want to give it a nice texture before we bake it. So I'm going to be using that here, and I'm just going to be putting a generous amount kind of all over the place and just taking my finger over it and smearing it in. And I'm kind of going for a messy look. So I am by no means trying to be, if you want a nice clean look, you could definitely take a paintbrush or a sponge and definitely get a nice clean look, but I want it to be thicker in areas and thinner in other areas. So I want to use my finger and kind of get that messy look. So you can use other medias on this. You can use ink. I've tried acrylic paint. So the nice thing about Shrinky Dinks is you can use other medias. So I'm going to go ahead and call that good. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to put both of them on a parchment paper. I think the instructions say to use a brown paper bag, but this should do. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my toaster oven, and it says to cook for 3 to 5 minutes, and you're going to see them shrink up, and that's okay. We are waiting for it to lay flat down again. So that is what we're looking for. Once it lays flat down, we want to let them cook for another 30 minutes before taking them out, or 30 seconds, excuse me, before taking them out. So let's go ahead and watch them cook here, and then we'll take them out. So it's starting to shrink back down there, as you can see. So we just want to make sure they lay flat back down and cook for another 30 seconds or bake for another 30 seconds before removing them out of the toaster oven. And that's really important. Once they have done that, before lifting them up, obviously we want to make sure they are cool because they will be very, very hot. And then I will show you the finished product. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and let both those cool here a couple minutes, and then we will go ahead and put them on the necklace and see how it turned out. Okay, so there is the, as you can see, much smaller than it originally was, silhouette of Sean's head. And then here is the heart. Now the cool thing about the heart is, as you can see, by using my finger and kind of getting it thicker in other areas, as you can see, it gives it a nice texture, and it almost looks like little blood veins in the heart there. If you do not like that texture, as you can see, you can flip it over, and it's nice and smooth on this side. So you have both those textures. So, but I really like the texture there of it kind of being that nice and rough edges there. So now at this point, we're going to go ahead and thread the necklace into the heart, using the heart first. You're going to start with one end of the necklace. We are going to go ahead and put the heart in first. Now, if you don't like how big the charms turned out, you can absolutely make them smaller. I just really liked this size versus bigger charms, so to each his own. And then once you got the heart on there, your next one is the cutout of the head. And then you have both charms on the necklace, the picture of the person you love, and the heart, and you are ready. Alright everyone, there's the finished product. A necklace you can wear close to your heart. with a nice little heart and a silhouette of the person you love. This was a super easy project to make, you guys, and you can make it using your Cricut Explorer and those Shrinky Dinks and a pearl pen, so you don't need much supplies. So make sure you guys are checking out my blog at www.creativeken.blogspot.com. Make sure you're checking out all my YouTube tutorials on the Cricut Explorer and many other craft projects. Make sure you check out my Facebook page and like, and make sure you are checking out all my pens on Pinterest. Alright, thanks for checking out today's video. Now go make your own necklaces and make something magical. Thanks, everyone.